And then what? What happens when you live forever? I feel like that's what technology is trying to do. We don't want anybody dying before the age of forever. Just keep on keeping on. And then there's like, you know what that would mean? If people had to live forever, that means everybody, you'd have to kill so many people. And it'd probably be illegal to have kids. Like, yo, you're gonna be doing something permanent? Imagine the pressure of getting it on at that point. Phew. What's the learning curve? Humans already grow up slow, living to 100, you know? You really can't do anything productively until, 15, 20 years into your life. You ever see a horse shit out another horse? It's like, boom, let's do it. It's a little wobbly, fine. It's a little wobbly, it's a little shaky, but it's ready. It's primed, bro. A baby comes out, useless. 5 pounds of crunchy water, as far as I'm concerned. And it can't do nothing. Just up there. If you left it alone, it would die. I feel like that's the only animal that the offspring, humans that is, are the only animal where its offspring are just useless is a little embellished. It's a little bit of an overstatement. Cause and it's not like, oh, next year it'll be able to. No. The year after that, surely. No. 3 years old? 2 years old? 3 years old? No. And I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, well, this one time. Yeah, one time, bro. There's 7.8 billion people right now, and there's been over 100 billion ever, supposedly. One time is not enough. Kids are dumb. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's a fact. So, you have a kid and they last forever. That goes on. What if it takes like 70 years for that person to become functional? If that changes anything. I don't think humans will ever be able to live forever. But that's the expectation. And that's why people can't go or think they can't go and just completely reinvent their whole life. Because there's the off chance that you might die sooner than you should. So what I'm saying is, if you want to fly, you go parachuting you go skydiving without parachute. So what, you die. Fuck that. I am down to go skydiving though. Brian Denning, if you're listening, bro. Yup. This summer. Yup. Big fan of the book. Trying to Get to Full Boil is one of the best books of all time. Shout out to Brian Denning. And The Pen is Dry. Great book. Because really, we're all just trying to get to full boil. I think that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to get the full boil. And if you don't get there, the pan is dry. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying before in some way, if you don't get to where you need to be, you might dry the pan out before you get there. And a dry pan just doesn't cut it. A dry pan is precisely what you need before you start cooking. So maybe it could mean a fresh start. Oh, there's some philosophy 101 with you on that. It's kind of like ha, but the older I get, the less dirty I want to be. Like when you're a kid, your eating involves your entire body. If you ever watched a toddler eat, or like somebody, again, this goes back to how useless people are from standard standpoint. If you're eating, talk about, that's not efficient, right? If you're gonna eat something that isn't a solid and it's all over your body, you did it wrong. Start over. Try again. And then you're on the couch. Oh, have you ever seen kids use technology while they eat? Oh. You got games on your phone? No, I actually don't even have a phone. What's a phone? I go, the only game I have on this phone is the news. That's a showstopper. What a yawn. Today we will talk about how afraid and angry you should be. Now, Tom, with the weather. It's gonna be sunny tomorrow. I think that should be a requirement. When they tell the news and they start talking about the weather, everything should be said as a question. The news is like equivalent to the pain of, as a kid, shopping for clothes with your parents. It hurt so bad if you tried to puke, you could. It hurt that bad. It's just, I mean, what are you going to do? What was I talking about? Kids eating? Oh, bruh. That's the problem with school, too. You don't get to learn the things you need to learn. Like, English is probably, let me see. English and maybe science is the only two things that are really important about school, that are relatively important about K through 12 education. Because they don't teach you how to eat or nothing. They don't teach you how to grow your own food, make your own clothes, build your own house. And you think, well, that's a lot to teach a kid. Not really, because the basics of building something is pretty ubiquitous. Like, everybody needs it. Everybody needs to eat. They don't teach you how to love or make friends either. You just, hey, good luck. And everybody's got fucked up friendships and shitloads of relationship problems. I think, if you ask me, school should be a series of psychological, theoretical, and philosophical education. Because, let's be honest, 99% of things are subjective. There's a lot of trivia. Sure. But the requirement for trivial things is subjective. For instance, when I was doing the course, I'm a personal trainer or strength and conditioning coach now. When I got my personal training certificate, I had to learn about how the human heart worked. And perhaps that is an astute thing to know. Yes, the heart! Come to me! No, I'm no surgeon, but I learned a little bit about it once. Like, am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do with somebody? And for those of you who don't know, a personal trainer's job is to really teach exercise. Maybe you could even call it some degree of exercise science, the understanding of how to move your body in the most particular way. That's really what it is. If I'm over here having to know where oxidized and unoxidized blood comes in and out, what parts of the heart that's associated with, I'm like, well, I was thinking about being a trainer, but I guess I'll be a heart surgeon. And that's what I mean. There's a level of trivia that is not required in most educational environments. Because what's the goal? To make smart people or intelligent people? And I guess if you want, you could define the difference between the two as smart people are very good at remembering things, and intelligent people are very good at innovating, renovating, or inventing things, creating new ways to think, maybe. So here you are in school. It's like, the Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And I've never had a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And I have no friends, actually. Because that's really the hardest thing to navigate, is your place in a social environment. That determines more often than not who you are. So if you know who sailed the ocean blue in 1782 or whatever the hell it is, I don't even know. Don't pay attention. I take pride in that, actually, because never has it helped me yet. I never have gone to the grocery store and they'd be like, who won the Battle of 72? And you're like, oh, guess I'm not eating tonight.